Good afternoon, students.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yeah, I'm Dr. Divisha. I'll be telling you about rural marketing and consumers of rural marketing and what are the institutional supports of rural marketing. So, basically, first we'll start with what is rural marketing actually. Uh, Generally, rural marketing involves developing, pricing, and promoting and distributing of products and services, especially which are tailored to rural consumers only, and aiming to improve their standard of living and even achieving the organizational objectives. If we see this rural marketing, we have some key aspects like focusing on rural consumers especially, then tailorizing or tailored strategies, then we have product and service offerings, then we have distribution channels, then promotion and communication, and even economic development. We have government initiatives, then marketing mix. So first we'll see what is focus on rural consumers. So what is rural focusing on rural consumers means, uh, in rural marketing we need to understand what are the priorities of the consumers, rural consumers, like what are the needs, what are the preferences, what are their behavior aspects of rural consumers, and what is their living standards in that area. First we need to understand, or we need to focus on that, on rural consumers. Then tailorizing their strategies, like if, in marketing we have so many strategies, how to attract the consumers, how to retain consumers. So first we need to make some strategies. So in rural marketing, the marketing strategies must be adopted to a specific context of rural markets. Then considering infrastructure facilities or accessing the information and even cultural norms, like we are dealing, for example, we are dealing a rural consumer somewhere in northern eastern states. Their cultural aspects are different when compared to south indians. So when we make a strategies to rural consumers, we need to see the geographical area or the cultural habits, all these things to be kept in mind when we form some strategies. Then coming to products and services offerings in rural marketing. So here in rural marketing, uh, it involves offerings like products and services that are very relevant and affordable for rural consumers, such as inputs, agriculture inputs. They have, for example, nowadays in rural areas, the government initiatives are there. What they do, they conduct some initiative classes for agricultural farmers, those who are for, even for those who are interested in rural marketing. So they give some classes for them. Then even consumer goods and even financial services also. Then coming to distribution channels. So for effective distribution channels, there are some crucial aspects in rural marketing, like involving local retailers, mobile vans, and other methods to reach the remote areas. Why we are choosing local retailers? Because they understand the local people, because oftenly they buy and take the goods from the retailers which are available in the local places. So it's very easy to have these local retailers for these consumers, because easy buying. They can even go for a credit base, because these are people. So it will be easy for communication as well, understanding their needs to the retailers. And some companies even they provide
మనం
some
మాట్లాడేది ఏం లేదు
mobile
అమ్మాయి.
vans to reach out their products to the consumers. And next one we have economic development. So coming to economic development, rural marketing can play a significant role in creating employment opportunities, then improving the livelihoods and boosting local economies. Why it promotes economic development means, in rural marketing, those who are interested in farming they go for farming. Those who are interested in selling the products, they go for marketing of selling products. Those who are interested in selling the products, like you have pesticides or seeds or whatsoever cropping, what are essential for cropping. So whatever you have the resources and you are interested in doing that, you can do in your local areas. So these helps in building job opportunities, and even the livelihood of the consumers or rural people will improve. Then we have government initiatives. So, government programs and policies play a crucial role in supporting rural marketing, like by improving the infrastructures and promoting access to markets and even providing financial assistance. These financial assistance will discuss at last because we have a topic like institutional support to the rural marketing. Then we come to marketing mix, the last point in these key aspects of rural marketing. We have a traditional four P's in marketing, that is product, price, place, and promotion. So oftenly, generally, we adapt these four P's in any marketing. It can be rural marketing. These four P's are adopted as usual. And next, we'll see what is rural marketing and its consumers. So rural markets offers a distinct consumer base, like with unique needs and buying behaviors of consumers and what are the requirements of their business. And according to that, they focus is affordable. Even the awareness should be there, and availability and easily acceptability is required. And we have some characteristics of rural consumers as well, like first one is low income and price sensitivity. Then we have emphasis on basic needs. Then we have traditional values and cultures. Then we have influence of peer recommendations. Then we have seasonal consumption patterns. Then we have limited access to information and focus on durability and simplicity. Then growing purchasing power, importance of trust, increasing digital connectivity. So first we discussed low income and price sensitivity. What do
Ma'am,
you
page
understand?
number.
Yeah,
Page number.
I didn't get
Page
it.
number. Page number, ma'am.
Page number. We don't have any books, ma'am. Just because I am basically purely marketing background, my specialization. So I am giving you a lecture on rural marketing.
Okay, ma'am.
So I don't have any textbook,
Okay, ma'am.
prescribed textbook. Whatever I have the knowledge, I'm sharing with you. So you don't have any book to tell. There is no book to tell you the page numbers. So first we'll discuss what is low income and price sensitivity. Coming to low income, rural consumers often have lower incomes, as we know, because the standard of living in rural areas is very low when compared to urban and semi-urban places. like lower incomes and highly price sensitivity means seeking value and affordability. And coming to second one, emphasis on basic needs. So their priority is on like what is important to them only, they are focused. So emphasis on basic needs. So they prioritize products and services that address their basic needs actually. They don't go for necessity or luxury. First they require is basic needs. And daily requirements is important for rural consumers, such as food essentials and agriculture inputs. Agriculture inputs can be their like plows, like uh, cattles, tractors. All these are agriculture inputs. Even the fertilizers or seeds, whatever. So water, these are all comes under agricultural inputs. And coming to traditional values and culture, so rural consumers are oftenly deeply rooted in their traditional and cultural values, which are influenced in their buying decisions also, or purchasing decisions also, even the preferences. Because usually they don't adapt to new things, rural consumers, because they have some trust on some products or brands. So they don't usually shift their preferences to another brands or companies, because from so many years, from their forefathers or fathers, they have been using one brand, companies or brands, the products. So they usually don't switch to a new brand which comes into the market, as usually done in urban areas. We usually shift to one product to another product, whichever is new or whichever is launched new. So we easily switch to new products. But in rural areas, the consumers don't switch to new products. They stick on to one brand or one company which are using by so many years, or we can call it as generations, right? Next one is influence of peer recommendations, like word of mouth, like mouth to mouth, the advertisements, like that, word of mouth. If in rural areas we have less populated people, and they try to influence others, like their preferences. Like if they choose a company fertilizers, they even influence the others by telling them this brand is good, you can use that. So word of mouth we call it as. And even recommendation from trusted sources uh, within the community plays a crucial role in shaping or in buying their products, or in buying decisions we call it as. Next one is seasonal consumption patterns. Purchasing behavior can be influenced by seasonal factors like agriculture cycles and festivals. Agricultural cycles are like, if we understand, generally those who are having farmlands, as per my knowledge, if there is water supply, if the water supply is good, they may crop for two hills or three crops. So agriculture cycle means after the third cycle of their farming or cropping, what they want to do next, like the next period will be short. So they can farm for a short period. They need to plan. This we call it as agriculture cycle. What will be one by one, right? And next one is festivals. So for which festival which crop is essential. For example, we call it, I mean, for example, Sankranti festival is for what? Harvesting of crops, new crops. So what they do, they harvest the crops which to be yield by Sankranti. So that is very much important for the farmers to understand the consumers. So what they do, they heal, they crop the fields, and they need to harvest it by Sankranti, and they get the new crop. So according to festivals, how they need to plan, they do it. So next one is limited access to information. So these rural consumers may have limited access to information and technology as well, making it crucial for businesses to use accessible and relevant communication channels. Generally, rural people they don't ask or they don't question if they buy anything. They ask for the price consumption, I mean price concession, and they move on. But they don't ask like for what purpose these fertilizers are being used, or is it effective to the insects, is it very much harmful for the crop, or what are the do's and don'ts. They don't ask. This information is not relevant to those because they don't have much knowledge. They have only one thing in their minds, like yielding the crop, yielding as much as the crop, and they need to gain the money. Why? Because they don't have proper information about the products, nor they don't have much knowledge about the products. They are not given the inputs, and they don't have any inputs, first of all. Then coming to next point, that is focus on durability and simplicity. So the rural marketers or rural consumers oftenly prefer durable products and simple products and easy to use products. As I've said previously, they don't question because they don't have much information about the products. So they buy those products which are generationally used, or they are habituated, or they are influenced by the company's brands. So they use very simple products which are suitable to their preferences, right? Next one is growing purchasing power. So while rural income are often low, they are experiencing growth and leading to increased purchasing power and a greater demand for consumer products. So next one is importance of trust. So rural consumers place a high value on trust and more likely to purchase from brands which they are trusted, and those recommended by their community leaders or peer groups, we call it as. Next one is increasing digital connectivity. So the rise of internet and smartphone usage in rural areas is opening up new connectivities or opportunities like for digital marketing as well as e-commerce. So next we see the demographics of rural markets. First one is income, second one is occupation, next one is culture, the other one is age group. So first we understand what are the demographics of rural markets. First one is income. Generally the population living in rural areas usually come from low income groups. So this is because of the most common occupation which involves farming, labor work, or small shop retailers, or people providing small services and similar small scale occupations. Hence, their earnings are usually low, as people in rural areas usually earns wages and payments on daily and or else weekly basis. So consumers are morely inclining towards buying necessary consumer goods. So next one comes the occupation. So as discussed earlier, the rural population are involved in simple occupations. We have discussed like farming or small shop retailers or labor work. So this
Ma'am,
involves labor workers, farmers, shopkeepers, and small scale
ma'am,
retailers and service providers. So people are more
hello,
likely to buy household use products. So these can be insights for brands and potential businesses to create
ma'am,
products that are provide value and cater their basic needs. I already said you that these rural people need a basic things, not hi-fi products, right?
ma'am.
So we have four A's in rural marketing: affordability, availability, awareness, and acceptability. I repeat, there are four A's in rural marketing: affordability, availability, awareness, and acceptability. As said, the four P's in marketing, how it is important, like that, four A's are important in rural marketing. So even we have the phases in rural marketing. First phase, from independence to green revolution. Green revolution is agricultural marketing. Second phase, green revolution to pre-liberalization, that is marketing of agricultural inputs. Then third phase we have post liberalization period in 20th century. That is, the rural marketing has involved or evolved. Then we have fourth phase, that is 21st century developmental marketing has been evolved. So these are the four phases of rural marketing. We have types of rural marketing also, different types. Rural marketing encompasses various strategies, as I've said you, even the activities to reach the consumers. So in rural marketing, we have digital rural marketing, partnership rural marketing, infrastructure development, direct marketing, services marketing, organized rural retailing, uh, mobile traders, contract farming, corporative marketing. So these are different types of rural marketing. First, we'll discuss what is first one, that is digital rural marketing. What do you understand by digital marketing or digital rural marketing? Uh, Utilizing or using online tools as a platforms to connect with rural audiences. So like increasing the internet penetration in rural areas, like for example mobile apps or social media platforms or other digital tools. Why we want to use? Because we want to engage with or bring awareness in rural consumers. Then we have partnership rural marketing. So collaborating with local organizations, businesses, or individuals to leverage their knowledge and network in rural areas. Next one is infrastructure development. Like for example, for partnership and rural marketing, we have some NGOs which are interested in working in rural areas to understand their problems and prospects. Then you have some community leaders also, basically, to build a bridge between the end consumers and the rural consumers. Next, we have infrastructure development. Main thing is this: improving infrastructure in rural areas, like facilitating marketing effects, like uh, marketing effects, like building roads, proper roads, or improving communications, or having proper network, establishing financial services like we have subsidiary banks or rural banks for this financial needs. So infrastructure development is this one. Next we have direct marketing. Direct marketing is nothing but connecting directly with rural consumers without any intermediaries, like oftenly through mobile vans or local events. For example, we have some this melas or exhibitions which are held at the local places through mobile vans, advertising vans. So without having any intermediaries, they directly approach the rural consumers. That is direct marketing. Next one we have services marketing. So marketing services to rural population, such as said you, uh, financial assistance by small scale banks, so such as banking, healthcare, or education. So this is services marketing. Services marketing is services are to be market, like health. What they need to do, they need to provide some basic health centers, and they provide these services to the rural people. Even the banks are to be established in rural areas, they need to service to the rural people. These are all comes under service sectors which are providing to the rural people these services. We call it as services marketing. So next one is organized rural retailing.
Ma'am,
Yes.
మళ్ళీ ఒకసారి రిపీట్ చేయండి మ్యామ్.
Services marketing means these these people provide services to the rural people or local people. Like for example, we are establishing a bank. What a bank does, they issue loans. Why they want to issue their loans means they need to get some interest amount which are to be paid to the bank. So bankers, uh, whenever we establish a bank, what we need a consumers. What we sell our products. What can be the products? It can be bank loans, it can be FDs, fixed deposits, or saving bank accounts. It can be SMEs, small medium loans. So we are selling the products to the consumers. Who are the consumers? Rural market people, or rural people, or local people of rural area. So health centers also. Health centers are to be established and their services are to be given to the rural areas. So what we call it, this sector comes under services sector, and we call it as services marketing. So next one is organized rural retailing. So establishing organized retail outlets in rural areas which provide access to a wide range of products. For example, like setting up rural stores or kiskos with a variety of goods. For example, I have a store or a shop in a rural area where I can sell seeds,
Fertilizer.
harvesting seeds, or pesticides or fertilizers, even the hardware things, plow or whatever, so which are useful for agricultural thing. I can set up in a shop or a store. I can sell to the local people. So the organizing way should be attractive to the local people, where they can buy all the products in one place, not going here and there or not getting confused. They can get all the products in one place. So we call it as organized rural retailing. Means getting all the products to one place and selling those products. If we see in rural areas, we find this kind of stores only, because they don't have much time to go here and there, because they don't waste time in doing these things. One time investment, they buy the pesticides or seeds or whatever they required, they buy it and they use it. They don't keep for long storage. So next one is mobile traders. Utilizing mobile traders to reach rural consumers, especially for perishable goods or everyday essentials. What are perishable goods? Perishable goods are which are destroyed or damaged within days, and non-perishable goods are stored for months or years with an expiry date and manufacturing date as well as. So, for example, in mobile traders, a vendor sells vegetables or fruits or other items on carts or motorcycles. So generally, in rural areas, they farm their own crops. They don't buy much because they get whatever they want. But in other areas, it's difficult to crop because we don't have any farming lands. We purely dependent on rural public for producing these vegetables as well as fruits. So mobile traders. Next one is contract farming. Contract farming is nothing but establishing an agreement between farmers and companies produce specific crops or products, ensuring a market to ensuring a market for the produce. What organic products? So organic products is an example for contract farming, because we have so many companies where they specifically choose these farmers for particular products. For example, we have 24 Mantra, Organic India, then so many other companies which produce organic products. So what these companies do, they find out from which state they get the best products or best agriculture products. From that state, they have an agreement with the farmers particularly, and they farm the organic products in their farming land, and they produce those organic products, and they will give it to the companies with whom they had these agreements. So this we call it as contracting farming. Nowadays, mostly the companies are hiring these farmers. They having agreement with these farmers and they are making their production, because these farmers are very much interested in having this contract farming, because they get a good income with these companies. Because normally, if you come, whenever you get a time, it's a small, what we call it as comparison. You go to any supermarket means which is near to you, check down the normal prices of grains and organic prices of any grains. Check it out and compare the prices. How much is the price? So, these contract farming is helping the farmers for betterment of their livelihood, and even the companies are selling the products at higher value because we nowadays the demand for organic products is high. So these companies are earning much, and even the farmers is also going for contract farming. And next one is cooperative marketing. Cooperative marketing, so encouraging rural communities to pool their resources as well as market their products collectively. We call it as cooperative marketing, like helping the farmers for achieving better prices and even to get market access while reducing the cost as well as the risk. So these are types of approaches in rural marketing. Next, we'll discuss what are institutional support for rural marketing. So generally, institutional support for rural marketing in India means first thing we get in mind is NABARD, right? Then only other things we get in the mind. So institutional support for rural marketing in India involves organizations like NABARD, DMI, or NIAM, or SFAC, which generally focuses on improving market access and promoting standardizations. Then they even offer trainings. Then they support agribusiness development to enhance these agricultural marketing infrastructures and sector growth. So generally, this institutional supports, uh, like they collaborate with likely minded institutes only. They help the farmers to understand their soil, or we call it as irrigation or fertilizers. So why we need an institutional support for rural marketing? To access to credit is a crucial factor in stimulating economic growth and promoting rural development. So, small finance banks understand the financial needs of rural individuals and small businesses and provides tailored credit products to meet their requirements. So, for example, uh, in rural areas, generally we don't find nationalized banks. We find Gramina banks. Why? Because the rural area requirements are very small, and they don't require a nationalized bank to be established because the requirements are very small. And why the requirements are small? Because they have low incomes. So with low incomes, they don't get what higher loans. So they keep these Gramina banks because these Gramina banks provide small what requirements, whatever these people need. And rural development plays a vital role in ensuring uh, inclusive growth and reducing economic disparities. Access to financial services is a key component for rural development, and it empowers individuals promotes entrepreneurships, then drives economic activities. So, first of all, what is financial inclusion? We'll discuss. So, small finance banks have merged as a champions of financial inclusion. So, particularly in rural areas, they have established a robust network of branches in remote locations, making formal banking services which are accessible to people who were previously underserved or excluded from the banking system. So, next one is accessibility. Access to credit is a crucial factor in stimulating economic growth and promoting rural development. So, small finance banks understand the financial needs of rural individuals as well as small businesses and provide a tailored uh, credit products to meet their requirements. So, whenever I have said you already, because their income levels are low and they don't afford high loans, and whatever they require is small and they get from small finance banks. In India, institutional supports for like NABARD, I've already said, which provides financial and non-financial assistance to rural producers through various schemes or exhibitions as well as marketing platforms. So, NABARD is National Bank for Agricultural and Rural Development. I repeat, National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development. So, first thing, what NABARD plays its role: financial support, marketing platform, mobile vans, exhibitions and melas, grant assistance. So, first we discuss what is financial support. So, these NABARD provides financial assistance to local producers, including farmers, weavers, artisans, through various schemes and interventions. So, weavers are cloth makers. So, even for these people, NABARD provides financial assistance. The next one is marketing platforms. NABARD support the creation and utilization of marketing platforms like rural hats, rural marts, exhibitions to enable producers to showcase and sell their products directly to the consumers without any middleman. Next one is mobile vans. NABARD provides support for mobile vans for primary agricultural credit societies, we call it as PACs, and NABARD supported producer organizations to market their products in remote areas. Just now we have discussed contract farming. So contract farming, they take financial assistance from NABARD so that these NABARD promote their products in mobile vans in a rural, remote areas. Next one is exhibitions and melas. So NABARD supports the organizations of exhibitions and melas where rural artisans and producers can showcase their products products and directly interact with consumers. So generally, if you see, uh, we have this industrial exhibitions at Nampally grounds. What they do across the country, so many people come and exhibit their products. So many clothings or other things, artisans, like we get the crockeries or paintings whatsoever. What we do, we see, but all these people are not from Telangana or Andhra Pradesh or any other neighboring state, but they come from all over India to exhibit their products, and they can talk about their products to the consumers directly without any intermediaries. They have create, I mean, here they have been created a platform where they can sell their products directly to the consumers without any middlemen or retailers. So here they have such platform every year for 45 days. So not only in Hyderabad, they can have anywhere all over India these exhibitions and melas where they can sell their product, where they can exhibit their products, they can showcase their products to the consumers. So next one is grant assistance. So NABARD provides grant assistance to artisans and producers to participate in exhibitions at different locations in India. I have already said you. So these people are does not belong to one state. So whenever they have exhibitions in other state, they can go there. So NABARD is offering even that assistance to artisans to visit any exhibitions all over the India. And next one is cooperative marketing institutions. We have marketing primary marketing societies. First one, second one is agricultural produce marketing communities. Third one is state marketing federation and national agricultural cooperative marketing federation. So first one will discuss primary marketing societies. So generally, these are the grassroots level institutions, we call it as. Primary marketing societies are grassroots level in institution that facilitate the marketing of agricultural products, right? Next one is agricultural produce marketing communities. So we call it as APMC. APMC. So these communities plays a crucial role in regulating and facilitating the marketing of agricultural produce. So these APMCs, it's a community. So they quote the prices of the agricultural produce. It should not be high, it should not be too low, because it should facilitate the amount to the farmers as well as to the government. So like that, they need to quote a price. These committee people. So next one is MarkFed, that is State Marketing Federation and National Agricultural Cooperative Marketing Federation. So these are apex cooperative institutes that support the marketing of agriculture produce at the state and national levels, right? Next, we have so many other institutes supporting institutes like Small Scale Industries Board. So these board supports the development of small scale industries. And next one, we have Khadi and Village Industries Commission. So this commission promotes the development of Khadi and village industries. So next one, we have All India Handicrafts Board. So this board supports the development of handicrafts in India. Then we have Central Silk Board. So this board supports the development of silk industry in India. So next one is All India Handloom Board. So this board supports the development of the handloom industry across the India. So next we have financial institutions which supports the rural marketing. First one is commercial banks. The other one is Grameen banks. I've already discussed. So first we see what are commercial banks. Commercial banks have established specific branches and divisions to cater to the needs of rural areas, such as agricultural development branches and agricultural banking divisions. What are Grameen banks then? So these banks focus on providing financial services to rural communities. I've already said, because commercial banks means you need to have a huge loan amount, or your requirement should be high, then only the commercial banks are established in rural areas. Otherwise, no. Grameen banks means where the focus is mainly on providing the financial services to the rural communities. So next is government initiatives. So we have two initiatives. First one is farm credit package. Farm credit package. The other one is rural hearts and rural marts. The first one is farm credit package means the government has implemented initiatives like farm credit packages to increase the flow of institutional credit to the agricultural sector. And coming to rural huts and rural marts, the government supports the establishment of rural huts and rural marts to provide marketing infrastructure for rural producers. And coming to the areas which are focused by institutional supporters, first one is access to markets, second one is financial inclusion, next capacity building, then we have technology adoption, then product diversification. First one is access to markets. Institutional helps institutional helps producers gain access to markets by providing infrastructure, infrastructures, marketing platforms, and even facilitating direct sales. Next one we have financial inclusion. So financial inclusion provides financial assistance and credit to rural producers, enabling them to invest in their businesses. Next one is capacity building. Capacity building means like institutions provide training and capacity building programs to improve their skills and knowledge of rural producers in areas like production, processing, and even in marketing. Next one is technology adoption. This is very much important. Institutional promotes the adoption of new technologies and techniques to improve productivity and efficiency in rural areas. For example, nowadays most of the farmers they use the smartphones and they understand the technology, and they get some what information about the production process or cropping, or having information about the companies or brands which they produce the fertilizers or pesticides. So they have some solid informations by using of technology. So nowadays technology adaptation is very much important, as well as most of them has been adapted also. So next one is product diversification. So product diversification is nothing but institutional institutions encourage institutions encourage crop diversification and development of non-farm enterprises to increase income opportunities in rural areas. So next thing is institutional factors in Indian agriculture in rural marketing. So generally, institutional factors can be like land tenure and tenancy, then the size of land holdings, then the size of and land reforms. So technologically factors like high yielding varieties were introduced in green revolution, including chemical fertilizers, insecticides we call it, then pesticides and farm machineries. So if we see, we have four major credit of rural households in India: um, cooperative societies, commercial banks, RRBs, informal resources. So first one is cooperative societies. So these are the member owned institutions that provides credit to rural households at relatively low interest rates. Generally, people go for financial assistance for cooperative societies because they give for low interest rates. Usually, the commercial banks charges high interest rates, so the rural people will go for cooperative societies. So these cooperative societies plays a significant role in providing agricultural and non-agricultural loans for farmers and entrepreneurs, rural entrepreneurs. Next comes the commercial banks. So these banks offer a variety of credit products to rural households, like including crop loans, equipment loans, personal loans. So they are regulated by RBI, that is Reserve Bank of India, and have a wide network of branches in rural areas. So next to third one we have RRBs, that is regional rural banks, established to provide credit and other financial services to the rural population. So these RRBs focus on small, small and marginal farmers, agricultural laborers, and even rural artisans. So they are jointly owned by central government, state government, and even sponsor banks. Then we have informal sources. So these include moneylenders, traders, relatives, friends, although they are, for example, these moneylenders means we have some pound brokers at our local places. Even we have some financial traders who deals with this uh, giving of money, all those things. Even relatives, our relatives can also be a part of this informal sources, like lending the money for interest. Even our friends also be a part of informal sources, because these are not formal sources, because they don't have any uh, rules or regulations. Because, for example, We have seen the cooperative societies. So cooperative societies are owned by members of institutions, and they provide low credit. Whereas commercial banks, these are regulated by RBIs. Then we have RRBs. So these are also controlled by state and central government, or and even sponsor banks. But when it comes to informal sources, we don't know who is responsible, what we call it as regulating bodies, and we don't know what is the rate of interest. So it's informal, we call it as. So these informal sources include money lenders, traders, relatives, and friends. Although they are easily accessible and provide quick loans because they are very near to our place, and they don't need much documentation for disbursement of loan amount because they are well known to us, and they often charge high interest rates, and may exploit borrowers also, because these what we call it as these informal sources, they don't have any regulatory bodies, I have said you. They even charge high interest rates because they are not controlled by anyone, and even they exploit the borrowers, like they threaten if they don't pay their interest rates, or if they don't close their loan amount, they even threaten them, and they exploit the borrowers. So with this, I would like to conclude the class for today. Thank you everyone.